just like a boat upon a winding river, twisting towards an endless black sea, further and further, drifting away from where I want to be, who I want to be.
Man, I am also disappointed that this is back, but you know what? I had to do it for the fans. I fucked this up already. I had to set it so that the music goes out, and I didn't fucking do that. So hold on a second. Fucking stupid motherfucker. Oh god, I hate myself. Oh god, I hate myself. Oh god, I hate myself. Is it going? It's not going. But I said it to go out, so it's gonna in a second. It's fading. Here's where the fade is gonna start. It's gonna start fading right here, and then you won't be able to hear it anymore for the rest of the thing. So there it goes. It's going. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing this again, but the fans, it's really. I got a lot of people hitting me up. They're like, Michael, where the fuck is the podcast, bro? Man, I look forward to it every day that you inconsistently put up the podcast. So I never really had any play with it, but I gotta start doing it again. I met with Jimmy Peoples and Courtney Reynolds and Brian Booth, I think, who comics. I talked about Jimmy before yesterday because we're gonna make some sort of little web series promotion thing for a show that they're doing, and that's one of the things Jimmy said. You know what, is it consistency when it comes to things. You just got to do it. And I realized I hadn't done this in 2 months because I sort of fell off the wagon with it. And the thing, I feel bad about doing it because, first of all, it's totally embarrassing, and I hate to talk about it, and I hate when people find out about it because it's like, especially when they find out what it is, because it's not a cutesy little thing where I tell jokes and or play games or answer questions and stuff. I just fucking ramble like a crazy person, and I have people that listen to it, which is worse, I think. Oh god, I guess that's better that somebody cares and listens to it, but those fucking people, man. Honestly, I feel like those people would be happier if they just did it themselves. Just ramble. I mean, this is therapeutic. If we all just had our own podcast that nobody listens to, I don't know. But that's the thing that Jimmy was saying, is that, it comes with consistency, is that, you gain a following when you have things that come out consistently, even if you don't have a following in the beginning. But I don't know if I want a following for this shit. I don't know who listens to new podcasts from people they don't know. What the... I don't know. I don't want to do this right now, right? Just explain to you why you shouldn't listen to this right as before I'm going to rant. Or I don't hate the word rant, but babble. Because I'm not ranting. Fuck ranting. I'm babbling. I'm babbling for an hour or however long it takes to get through all this fucking shit that happened in 2 months. Over 2 months. A couple days over 2 months since... I did the last one on Christmas Eve, which I think was a good place to end it. I should have buried it right there, but I might as well start doing it again because it was good for the time when I was doing it, and I was able to, log and talk about some of the things I was doing, and I was able to process the things better because I was able to look at my week and see how productive my week was, because fuck, shit's been a blur for the past 2 months. I don't know what was in what week and what was in who's. So I'm gonna start doing it every week again. I don't know what day yet. My semester is different this time around. My classes, so I guess we'll see what happens with that tomorrow. It's 3 a.m. So today, I'm standing outside with Joey, comic buddy Joey Rinaldi. I think I talked about Joey in one of these before, but anyway, Joey has hooked me up and been there for me a bunch of times, and just gotten me some hookups and is this tracking it? God damn it, track it. I'm sorry, I don't know how to record this on GarageBand, but I don't know how to do this. Anyway, Joey's hooked me up with a bunch of shit. He's a great guy, and he's a comic too. And yeah, we've hung out a few times, and we're in love. But Yeah, so tomorrow he hooked me up, told me about this open auditions at the Comic Strip Live. You just wait in line for fucking 2 or 3 hours, and they give you a ticket, and then anywhere within the next year could be your audition date. But Comic Strip is awesome because Eddie started there, Chris Rock started there. You go into the Comic Strip, you see all these fucking comedians that started there and perform there, and it's a lot. I mean that is a 10-year, no, not 10, it's a historical place for comedy. And I've done a couple open mics there with this lady named Gladys, who I've talked to a few times over the phone, and she's been helping me with. She's a really nice lady. Again, I met her through Joey. She does this show every Friday, where it's a bringer show, but it's like a good bringer show because there's some shit. A bringer show is basically, for people that listen to this don't know anything, fucking stupid people that don't fucking know anything. A bringer show is so you're on a show, right? You're on a show, a stand-up show. They give you 5 or 10 minutes, whichever, and you can only go on if you bring people. I don't know why I had to explain that. So I bring 2 or 3 people. They pay $14 for the ticket and they get a drink with it. And then I'm able to go up. So she does this bringer show every Friday. I bring some people because everybody always wants to see me perform and are thoroughly disappointed afterwards. But they all want to see me perform. So I'm telling people, you can come see me for $14 and I can do this bringer show. And then I can get a tape from it. And Gladys will talk to me about it. And she's been coaching me. I've done it a few times. But anyway, Joey, I met her through Joey. And she's really nice. And that's really it's cool because it's a weekly thing. So I've been sort of structuring, or not structuring, but it's giving me a time schedule, time frame to work on new material. So I'm trying to do one every week, a new 5 minutes, or at least mostly new every week. And it's been working out pretty good, I have to say. It has been working out pretty good. I can't go this Friday because this Friday I'm going on my first road gig, which I'm not booked, so I'm not going up, but I'm going with my friend Joey, who is booked as an opener for this guy Nicky Paris, who I've never fucking met before, no idea. But Gladys, I guess he was one of Gladys's guys that she coached, and she's really close to him, and he's doing a college gig, and Joey's opening for him, and then this other guy from the strip, Kyle, who I've met once or twice. I don't know if he knows who the fuck I am. But where the 4 of us are going, the 3 of them are going up, and then I'm sitting in the audience with the college kids and recording it because I'm Mr. Film Person or whatever, I guess. So that should be it should be fun. I don't know. I'm excited because I'm glad I don't have to perform the first time I go to this. I think it's at Hartford or whatever the fuck it is. Hartford College, Hartford. I don't know. I don't even know where it is, dude. Connecticut, right? Hartford, Connecticut. But I'm glad my first time going to a college gig, I'm not going up because now I can scope. I can see what it's like, what happens, what type of things that they laugh at. Because I want to do some college gigs. It'd be awesome to do some college gigs, especially next year, or fuck, even spring break. If I could get a college break over spring break, oh god, that would be awesome to go on the road. But it'll take a lot of work. But yeah, anyway, that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Comic Strip Live. But I fucking am a crazy person, and my sleep schedule's off, and I slept from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. today / yesterday. So I'm up all night doing my stupid shit. And as usual, like I said, I haven't done this shit for 2 months. Christmas and Florida time. I was there for an impossible month, and I didn't do stand-up. I mean, shit, I haven't. That's the bad thing is that I didn't really do stand up even after I got back regularly. I maybe was doing it once, twice a week until I got really depressed, and I was like, you know what, this is all I want to do, so I got to just do it. But I don't have money right now, so it's hard to do it. But Olama Prabhu, good old Olama Prabhu Patanashetty, my man, decided that he wanted to finance me, and that because he wanted to go to more mics too, and that I usually encourage him to go to more mics, and so he pays for the mics I've been doing. Good old Olamo Prabhu. We all love Al. One day Al will be on this podcast, and Abhishek too probably will be on this podcast. Shake things up a little bit. Shit, maybe even Joey can come on. But, it was hard. It was hard being back in Florida, not doing any stand-up, not doing anything. I mean, I got sad again a little bit. I almost caved, and Lash and I almost made another fucking rap mixtape. I mean, it was Lash's whole thing. It was like his little project that he was gonna do. I don't say little, like I say little because like it was like half the size or something. He wanted to do like a small like EP, but it didn't end up coming to fruition. I think it's still in the works, but it didn't end up coming to fruition, which I'm glad about because I fucking recorded rap verses. And I'm so glad I'm not doing that anymore. I don't know why I did that. I don't know what state. Maybe it's just Florida makes me want to appropriate culture. I don't know what I'm doing there, but I'm not. We didn't do it. It didn't end up happening. Which, thank God. Florida, man. My dad only freaked out once or twice. He freaked the fuck out on our neighbor Russ. While he was walking our dogs, because we don't have a fence in our backyard, so we have to walk our dogs every time in the backyard, which is a pain in the ass. And while he was walking the dogs, because I was asleep and I'm an asshole, so I didn't wake up to help him. But he didn't ask me, but I should have probably woken up on time to take out the dogs. But I slept until like 1. I woke up to people screaming outside, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? And I went to listen to the window. I was like, oh, who the fucking stupid kids? And I went to lay back. I'm 75 years old. Stupid kids. And I'm gonna lay back down. But then I went and I was about to fall asleep, and then I heard distinctly my dad's voice, and I was like, oh shit, what is going on? And I ran downstairs, and I was, rubbing my eyes. I was like, what the hell's happening? And my dad's just out there just screaming at the neighbor, and the neighbor's screaming back at him. And I'm like, Dad, just come inside. What the hell's going on? And he's freaking out. And I guess when my dad was walking the dogs, the neighbor Russ's little dog was off the leash and like ran at our dogs towards our yard, and then my dogs ran at the little dog and pulled my dad over, and then the little dog was fine, but my dad fucking fell over and started screaming at the guy for having his dog off the leash and stuff, and the guy was like apparently like all drunk or on drugs or something, and he was screaming back and saying, I'm gonna shoot you with my gun and whatever. And my dad freaked out even more then because he got scared, and he just screaming back and forth at each other. And my dad was like, what the hell happened? So my dad came inside and fucking called the police, and he called the police. When the police came, like fucking 40 minutes later, fucking assholes. Like 45 minutes later, the police came. We're just sitting inside, just wondering if we're gonna get fucking shot. And we're inside just waiting, and police come, and they go and they knock on the other guy's house or do whatever there, and they come over to our house, and they're like, what seems to be the problem, sir? And they all have heavy, stupid country accents. What seems to be the problem, sir? And it's like, well, the guy said he's gonna shoot us with his goddamn gun. What do you mean, what is the problem? And he's like, well, I mean, you told me that information, but what seems to be the problem? My dad's like, the guy said he was going to shoot us with, isn't that threatening? He said he's going to shoot me with his gun. I know he has a gun. And he's like, listen, sir, that man, Russ, he works for the school system. He's a good man. We know him. But they didn't say we know him, but I got the feeling that they knew the fucker. He's a good man, and he said he said he had a gun, but that's not a real threat. And my dad's like, what do you mean that's not a real threat? He said he was going to shoot us with his gun. He has a gun. We've seen the gun. And they're like, well, let me ask you this: if you were to see a crazy old lady walking down the street, and you were walking down the street, and she came up to you and she said, hey, I'm going to shoot you with my gun, would you be scared? And my dad's like, yeah. She said, shoot, fuck yeah, I'd be scared. The guy's like, well, I wouldn't be scared. And my dad's like, because you have a gun. And he's like, well, everybody has guns here. And my dad's like, well, we don't. And he's like, you're in the wrong state, pal. And then that's basically all they did. They just drove away. The guy's cool. Probably were drinking buddies or something. I don't even know. But fuck those cops. That's Florida for you, man. That was like towards the end of my time in Florida, because I came back here January 21st is when I came back here. Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, it hasn't been that long. It's been a month since I've been back here. A little over a month, which I think I made some good progress with stuff. A month is good. A month is good. A little over a month. I should be more honest. February 28th. So 5 weeks. So yeah, I flew back from Orlando to Newark January 21st. And I met, this is a cool story. It was so weird, at Newark Airport. I'm waiting for the Newark Express to take me back to the city, the bus system. And I'm sitting and I'm waiting for the bus to come. And it's taking forever. It says, it's advertised every 15 minutes it comes, but it was like 40 minutes I was sitting there. This crazy lady, who I thought was a crazy lady, just kept saying, like, this is not 15 minutes. She kept looking over at me. She's like, this is not 15 minutes. Does this seem like 15 minutes to you? And I was like, oh, it doesn't. See, most of the time I just ignore crazy people. But, I was like, oh, yeah, it's crazy. And then the bus finally came, and there was a bunch of people that had lined up by then, even though we were kind of like the first ones there. And they all hopped in the bus, and the bus ran out of room. And I was talking to this lady more, and she was all pissed because we didn't get on the bus. But, she's like, oh, what are you doing here? Are you in New York or in school? And I was like, yeah. And I was telling her about stand-up and stuff. And turns out she was a stand-up. She's like, oh, stand-up. I did that for 30 years. I did that. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was telling me about how she quit. And she's like, it's not for me anymore. And she, knew all these guys when they were young. Like, she was telling me about Sarah Silverman and Dave Chappelle and Louis and all these guys / girls. But I think that's better when I say guys to include everybody. I think that's more inclusive than saying guys and girls. I think if I say guys when I mean guys and girls, I think that's the future. So fuck what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. It's 3 a.m. Yeah, so she was, and I was like, oh shit. And it turns out once she started saying that, I was looking at her face, and I knew I recognized her. She was actually in Louis. She was in the TV show. She was Neville's mom in the show, and she knew Louis when he was, coming up and stuff. And, we talked, and it was crazy. We connected, and we ended up sharing Uber back to the city, and she's like, now listen, you seem fucked up to me, and that's good, because, you're trying to be funny, and it's good. You gotta be a little fucked up at least, and, which I don't know why I look fucked up, but I guess I do. And we just shared an Uber back to the city, and she was telling me, listen, if you ever need anybody to complain to, you just complain to me. I can be your grandmother in this city. You just have your mom know that she doesn't have to worry, because now you have me now. And this lady Nancy. So I have this connection now, and she was telling me about she dated Larry David in the 80s, which is hilarious. She was telling me about and that's where Kenny Kramer lived, and I was like, oh, okay. And, how weird it was. I met her at the airport waiting. Weird. But I'm glad I met her. I haven't talked to her since, but I have her connected on Facebook, and I have her number and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, I think if I ever do anything, send it to her and see if she can send it to some other people that she knows. But, yeah, if I ever make anything that I think I want people to see, I know that I can send it to her. And if I ever need to call somebody, I can call her. Which I probably should have called her a few times this semester, because this semester, man, has been so far in a month and a week has been the most insane fucking thing. Oh, God, I mean, let's just start off with the craziness. And this is good because no one is ever gonna get this far into my stupid podcast, so nobody that I have to worry about. But yeah, so I have said before about how I live in a 6-man suite, and there was, we get along pretty well, but one of the guys, I'm not gonna say his name, but it was always a little bit weird. Let's call him Nick. I'm gonna slip his real name somewhere. But let's say Nick was always kind of a weird, gave a lot of weird vibes and stuff. And one of the things, like, he was just a weird dude, and he did a lot of weird things that together were really funny. And a lot of, like, the roommates, I feel bad, but the other 5 of us kind of bonded over the weird shit he would do. Like, just be like, did you see what Nick did? What the fuck did? But, like, the second or third week I was here, I think it was, like, the second week I was here, he had, like, a breakdown. And he, like, we were just talking about the trash and shit. We were talking about, taking out the trash. Like, oh, you're not taking out the trash as much. You need to do that, take shifts. And he just, like snapped out of nowhere. And he just, I don't know. I don't know to what extent I can talk about this stuff because, like, I think that there's, like, let's just say he snapped and he said some stuff that was really bad that he's not supposed to do, and he's did, and he has a thing that he has that I don't know if I can say, but he has a mental illness thing, and he snapped, and he was angry that we didn't accept him for it, and he was calling us hypocrites, and we're like, all right, calm down, I don't know if we're all comfortable living with you anymore. And I was trying, because at first I was like I felt bad for him because I knew he couldn't control it. I was like, I don't know if we're comfortable living with you, but look, listen, we can go down to housing and we can talk to the residents people and sign some confidentiality agreements, and we don't have to talk to anybody about this ever again. And he freaked out, and he was freaking out still, and he left, and he stormed out. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, that was crazy, like, that he admitted all this stuff, and like, oh my, I want to know what to do. And he came back, and he was all smiles. And that freaked me out a little bit. I was like, okay, well, that doesn't, what, he was freaking out, and he came back a couple minutes later, all smiles, and he just kept talking about how he wanted to, like, set a fire and pull fire alarms and stuff, and he went into his room. All happy still, but I was with Rich, my roommate, and we were in the room just talking like, what the fuck, and we started smelling fire. I was like, was it pot? And I was like, oh shit, like, he was talking about setting fires and stuff. And so I knocked on the door. I was like, hey, Nick, like, what's going on, man? And he is there a fire in there? And he opened the door, and he was all super, super weird. And he was like saying like, I was sleeping, but he answered the door like right away. And he was just talking about like, he's saying like, oh, don't worry about me or anything. Like, you got to know that I would hurt someone else way before I'd hurt myself. And I was like, okay. I was smiling still, and I was like, this is really weird. And he's like, I was like, see you tomorrow. And he's like, maybe. And just really fucking off-putting stuff. And then I was like, okay. And I was like, I need to think about this. This is weird. And I went downstairs, and I went to leave to go downstairs to go grab a slice of pizza and go for a walk. This is all like 3 a.m. And I go to walk down the stairs, and I see like in giant letters scribbled all over the wall, like, you are all hypocrites. And it freaked me the fuck out, man. So I called all the other roommates. I was like, guys, get out of there. This is too much. This is some like horror movie shit. And then Hamashu called public safety, and public safety came and interviewed us all, and they dealt with Nick's problem and put us all into temporary housing across town at Greenwich Hall for a while. And it was a lot. I mean, I was there for like a week, and I just felt intense guilt because I told him that I wouldn't tell anybody and be confidential, but like, he freaked me out. I mean, I wasn't the one to call public safety, but it freaked me out. I was scared. And so we moved back into the room about a week later, and he was gone. He's still at the school, but he's like in another dorm. But I mean, man, it freaked me out. I've done a lot of drugs and alcohol since that. I've been really messed up. emotionally. I mean, I missed a lot of class from it. I mean, I missed the Thursday class because we were up all night Wednesday night dealing with this shit. I didn't go to bed. I didn't even, it wasn't, we weren't moved to temporary housing immediately. Like I had to go and sleep in. I met with Al at like 5 a.m. because Al's a fucking weirdo and Al doesn't sleep at night. So I met up with Al at like 5 a.m. and told him everything that happened. And he went to class and I was up all night and exhausted, so I just slept at his room until he was done with class and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we weren't even moved to temporary housing for a while. But yeah, it was craziness. It was craziness. And we finally just moved back, or not finally, just we moved back like, you know, a little while, probably February 12th or something. We moved back in. After all this shit happened, like February 3rd or 4th, and so we've been there for 2 or 3 weeks. We've been back, but it's been it was a nutty situation, man. I don't even know how to. I don't even like talking. I don't know what I'm talking about in here, but this is an emotional, weird, and I've done a lot of. Drink a lot, and I shouldn't be drinking because I know it like runs in the family and stuff, and my dad has always warned me about it, and I can tell that it's really good for me. I mean, and that's the problem, is that I'm drinking alone and shit sometimes, which isn't good, man. But it was a lot, and so I missed a lot of class, and you know, I had to go talk to my advisor and stuff about the classes I missed, and I don't know. It was. I tried to get back on when I was on my bender, where I was fucking hammered every day for like a week. I joined Tinder, and I set up a Tinder profile, which is why the fuck would I do that? But I did, and I went on a date, which is, oh god, I went on a date with this poor female who. But that was the weird thing, is that we met up and she like liked me, which is, I don't know, I have a whole new bit about this where it's like, you know, and that's when I knew something was wrong because she wanted to fuck me. It's just a silly bit, but I mean, it was weird. It was I hated every minute of it, not because anything was wrong with her, but, and this is I realized she kept trying to touch me. And I just hated that, and I have weird problems with touching and hugging and all those things, and intimacy, and I realized like I just want to be alone. And that's a really scary thing to realize at 19, that like, or 18 then, that I just really am okay with just being alone for a long time. I had my first kiss, which is like, I can't believe, like, I haven't kissed anybody. I mean, I still haven't kissed, but she kissed me, and I talked through it. I was like, I don't know what to do. My lips were fucking talking while she was trying to kiss me, but, because it took me by surprise and shit, and I didn't really consent to it, but it was like, I don't know, man. It was just a bad experience. I feel bad for her, but, and I just want to be and act like a normal person. You know, go on dates and stuff and not have to fucking complain about being a virgin on stage and all the other shit I do all the time. But that was I'm still on Tinder, and I've talked to a few other people, but I haven't gone on another date. But, I mean, it's nice to talk to people, you know, and just have people to talk to and hit up once in a while. Yeah, I don't know, man. But I've got to be afraid of the alcoholism, because I mean, that shit is good. I have a new bit about it sounds hacky, I'm sure someone else has done this, but I was thinking like you know, that, you know, alcohol doesn't solve any problems. You know, everyone always says alcohol solves problems, but I mean, it kind of does, because it creates a bunch of new problems, and those problems just become more urgent, because it's hard to like feel bad about your wife leaving you when you can't walk and shit. You can't walk. Oh god, I hate it. Fuck me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Anyway, I didn't know it was terrible until I said it, so don't blame me for that one. Yeah, so we've been doing The Boys, me and the Indians, which they hate when I call them that, but fuck them. We've been doing sketches more, and we want to start a podcast. I do too many I'm against it because I can't have so many podcasts. I have 3 podcasts, which I can't do a fourth. I can't do a fourth podcast. I don't want to be podcast guy. But we're probably gonna do a podcast eventually. The sketches have been going good. We've been trying to. We took a break for a little while, because things have been kind of hectic with all of our schedules but. Oh shit! I have to talk about that too. But we had done 2, and we have a couple more written. Each of us have a couple more written. Then we're gonna shoot some sketches once we have the weekends open again. But yeah, that's what we've been doing on Saturdays. I have Saturdays, and Al hooked us up with this. We go to meet this guy, Sertaj, in fucking Pennsylvania. We take the Jersey Transit all the way down to deep Jersey place, and he picks us up, and we go to Pennsylvania, and we help him shoot the sketches that he wrote, and he pays us each $75 because we bring the equipment and stuff, and he pays us each $75 for helping him shoot. We're his crew, and which is amazing. But he's also alcoholic, so he's very inconsistent. And we went and met with him once, and we did a one-time. We shot. We did one video, one day on set for real, and we got paid for that. But yeah, he was drinking like crazy during the shoot, and it was bad. It was bad. I don't know if I'm gonna go back. We have that, and Al's gone back there a couple times to help him edit, and I think that Abhishek and Al are going on Saturday, which again I can't go because I'm going on the road thing with Joey to film his set, but they're going this Saturday to meet with him and shoot another sketch probably. But I got a job besides that at America Reads, which sounds fucking perfect for me because it's just I'm going, inner city schools and teaching kids how to read, and silly. I don't know. No one wants to fucking learn how to read from me, but I'm doing that, and it's $13 an hour, and it's during the school day when I don't have classes, so it leaves time open for stand up, and I'll have money to go to mics and money to travel to shows and stuff, and I'd have money to eat. Because I can't really go very far if I can't afford to buy pizza and shit when I don't have money. I just get stuff from the dining hall instead. So it'll be nice to have money to do stand-up and get this shit together because in May, recording 30 minutes. And I've been talking about this for a while. I said I wanted to do an hour at first, but the more and more I think about it, I'd rather do 30 minutes of good material than try to amass an hour. I'd rather do 30 minutes of tried and true material that I really like rather than try to do an hour. So I'm going to do 30 minutes. I'm going to shoot it at my dorm at 3rd North in May. I have to jump through some hoops. I have to act like it's for a class, get signed off for teacher's permission to film there. I'm probably going to shoot it over 2 or 3 days. I want to do more than one filming of it because I don't if I fuck up really bad on one of the parts, one of the days, I don't want that to be the only take we have of it and it has to go in the thing. But I'm shooting a half-hour thing that I was going to call like group therapy or whatever, or free therapy, and but it's basically this experiment I'm doing with like it's moving from it's trying to blend the idea of therapy and stand up, which is a very, I don't want to overuse, very hacky. I'm hacking the word hacky, but it's a very hacky premise. But when I had the idea about a year ago when I had the idea, I just had gotten out of fucking therapy for being a sad piece of shit Because I mean, I had some actual shit happen to me, and I never went to therapy before. I went to therapy for I went to therapy one time for Victoria, and I went there, and I was like, yeah, I'm really sad. And he's like, oh, yeah, you are sad. And I was like, what do I do? And he's like, oh, maybe you're just like, sad for a little while, and that's okay. And I was like, so what are you gonna do? And he's like, oh, you just gotta, be sad. And I was like, you're not gonna give me any medicine? He's like, well, do you need medicine? I was like, I don't know. And he's like, it's your job. And he's like, oh, well, we'll see how it happens. Come back next week. And I didn't come back. I was like, fuck that. But anyway, it was really funny. And the way that, because it was an introductory, that's what it is. It was an introductory therapy session where he asked me questions about myself and introduced I wish I would have recorded on my phone, because it was like, oh my God, this would be perfect to start a special with, just like, especially a first special. And I could try to blend a little bit of tone and therapy and stand up and do a little bit more of that, but it was just so perfect for introducing a person and a persona with the questions that he was asking and stuff. So I want to set up a show, and I'm not going to call it group therapy or free therapy anymore, because it's too on the nose. And I want it to sort of be like an homage to stand-up and the type of stand-up that I really, really like, which is like this confessional, very personal stand-up with observations about your own life, especially in the world around you. Which started with Pryor and stuff, and then I think climaxed with Louis, and it is going in different directions with Birbiglia, but I want to do. It's going to be called, at least for right now, I think I want it to be called Hysterical. And I'm going to be tone blending a little bit, because I did the Carolines. I talked about the Carolines set that I did, and the Carolines set was okay, but I was watching it again. It's very, I don't think when I watched it was like, oh, that's Louis C.K., but it was like, and I know I worry about that too much, but I was looking at it and I was like, you know what, this is a little, it's a little too happy and confident, and I think that's where the comparisons lie. I think a little bit with this type of jokes, with the type of humor, but I think mostly with the delivery, in the sense that I'm very confident, self-deprecation, and I think with what I'm trying to do with the therapy thing, I think it would be cool if I could blend it a little bit, tone blend, and we saw Birbiglia do that with My Girlfriend's Boyfriend, which I think is one of the greatest specials of last 15 years easily. I think it's probably going to be one of the most influential of all time. Honestly, I really do. That's such a good special. I saw his show and I was saying how it wasn't as good. This one wasn't as good. It's coming out in like a week on Netflix. Thank God for Jokes. But yeah, that Girlfriend's Boyfriend was so good. And I'm just trying to, and the Caroline scene was good. And I did I put up the comic strip video on my YouTube. Or one of the Gladys shows that I did, and she was talking to me about it. But I'm trying to make it a little bit more. I'm trying to walk that line a little bit, where it's like you don't know if it's sad, you don't know if it's funny, you don't know if it's because I think the jokes I can do either way. I mean, some of the jokes I tell are just fucking funny. They could go really either way depending on how I say it. And I mean, some of it did happen like that. Like I was telling Al, one of my favorite jokes that I have is like, I can't see. I mean, I can see myself with someone easily. That's not the problem. I can see myself with a hot girlfriend. I just can't see someone else with me. And that wasn't like a fucking joke that I wrote. That was just something that I said when I was really depressed, and I was like, holy shit, that's actually kind of funny. If I tag it a little bit, and that's what I've been doing really. I've been taking just these things I think, and I've been just tagging, basically, just making them funny somehow and throwing tags on them. And so I don't want the delivery to just be very, smiling through it all. I want that to be a little bit of it, but I want there to be a little bit of emotion there. And that's why the Hysterical is obviously an homage to all those comedies, especially, Hilarious and Delirious and all these other specials that are just, one word adjectives for, and also Hysterical, I think, because I want it to be, because hysterical, let me pull up the definition of hysterical for y'all right now. deriving from or affected by uncontrolled extreme emotion. And I think what would be very cool about that is that emotion is vague. I mean, normally when people talk about hysterical, they talk about very funny or very, very funny. But I've heard, they talk about it. It's a word that you can use either way. You can say someone's hysterical when they're crying. And I don't know. I've never been a hysterical person where I'm super funny or super laugh out loud funny or super depressing where people cry. But I don't know. I think the vagueness of the word and maybe even the irony that I'm not hysterical could work. I don't know. I was thinking about it, and it's like I said. It's to me. It's an homage as much as an experiment. So I mean, I'm really excited about that. I don't know if anything I said makes sense. You can check out the comic strip video. You can tell the stuff at the end with the Tinder stuff that's way better now because I that was the first time I ever did that stuff on stage. Like I was just experimenting, but the tone, the delivery style is something that I'm really trying to change a little bit and try to walk the line a little bit and see if I can blend a little bit of sad and funny differently than other people have in the past. So you can watch that comic strip if anybody cares. If anybody fucking cares, you can watch that comic strip 5 minutes and compare it to the other one. Do your comparative analysis, research on my fucking shitty comedy. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I did a 10-minute mic. When was it? Today's Tuesday, so Sunday I did a 10-minute mic with Al at the stand, and I brought my notes up there just to make sure I got everything in order. But I did 10 minutes, and I had 10 minutes, and it was like okay. I thought it was 10 minutes because it was like basically the two sets combined with a little bit less. I just expanded some of the jokes a little bit more. And it was 10 minutes, and I was like, okay, I feel good. Like I have a bunch of other material that like I have mostly worked out in my head that I got to take to the stage and probably, like I said, I'm doing, I'm trying to do 5 minutes once every week or once every 2 weeks and go back to stuff and rearrange some things. And so by May, that should be minimum. I need 4 weeks to get the material written. And so 4 weeks from now would be a month from now, which would be end of March. And then I have so I have 8 weeks to write. I have it written, but I have 8 weeks to prepare another 15, 20 minutes. Because I have 15 minutes because I have some old stuff that I fucking dick jokes and shit that work thematically with what I'm trying to do. And the fucking pedophile joke or whatever that I was doing with my cousin. But anyway, I wrote a new joke today actually that was like fits in with all your stuff that I'm like, oh shit, and it was exactly the same thing where it was just something that I said that I didn't realize could be a joke. It was like it doesn't matter to me like what people say to me, and this is true. Like it doesn't. Whenever someone can say I'm a fat piece of shit, stupid, virgin, small dick, loser, and if they're just like just kidding at the end, I really honestly doesn't bother me. But if someone were to call me a loser or dumb or doo-doo head, if someone were to call me doo-doo head, but look me if I can see in their eyes that they're trying to hurt me, it doesn't matter if the intent is to hurt, then that's what really upsets me. Like I don't give a shit if they say something because I've heard it all. But it was just an observation of it. But I made that into a joke, and it connects to some of the other things I want to talk about political correctness on college campuses and stuff, and how it's like fucking actually counterintuitive and detrimental a lot of times. I have a couple stories and examples of that, which are pretty hilarious if I can make them good for the stage. And I have some sad stuff too that I want to. I don't know. I'm really excited, and I could talk about this for hours. I don't want to bore anybody, but I mean, other than that, with Michael Miller hysterical, which I mean, I could change from now, but I'm really excited, man. I've been keeping it on the down low, so if you're one of the people listening to it, like I know you're not gonna fucking. The only people who listen to this are Michael Turner, Daniel Mitchell, Maria, I think, because Maria messaged me one time about how my political ideas weren't right on the election thing I did, and she was like, I'll tell you about it, and then she never called me about it. So Daniel Mitchell, Michael Turner, and then fucking Al and Abhishek listen to it as well for some reason because they all the shit they're in. So I guess they just enjoy like a little. Ooh, what's happened with us this week? You know, hear Michael talk about it. Fucking weirdos, but I love them. Yeah, so I've totally lost my train of thought. But yeah, I think that's. I'm keeping it on the down low, but I'm gonna announce it once I have the material written. Maybe early midway through April, I'll announce it, and once I have the place booked and the camera set up, and I have people that are, I'll announce it and know the logistics of it. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I'm really excited for it. I think it's a good because I'm not good yet. I'm shit, and I'm not good yet. But I don't want to lose some of this early material. I think this early material is really cool because it's early shitty material that I haven't really found my own voice yet, and I'll fucking forget it, or I'll never use it again, but, you know, I'm not expecting this to be a huge thing. I want it to be good. I want it to be fucking amazing. I want it to be, here's the thing. It's not going to be amazing, and I know that, but I want it to be, because I worry sometimes, because I go to shows, and I go to mics, and I meet people, and everyone always seems very impressed by how good I am, but not how good I am for my age. Everyone seems to be very impressed by that. And I just don't want to be someone that's like, everyone always saying was so good and is going to be so good one day when they're older, or is already good and is going to be great one day when they're older, and then, you know, just not be. And just be, you know, just an average, you know, or not even average, subpar. So I think, you know, it would be nice if I could just capture this moment of, hey, he was good for his age for a little while. And I think that's a big reason why I want to do it, is I want to have, hey, you know what? I'm shit, but look at this I did when I was 19. I don't know, that's silly. But that's really a big reason why I want to do it. And it's nice to have something to work towards and something. I mean, that's why I did that shitty album. And I think that's also why I tried to work on another mixtape when I went back to Florida for a month. I like to have something to work on, something to look forward to. It really keeps me, my head on straight a lot of times. But, yeah, we'll see. Other than that, on my birthday, like I said, I'm 19 now. My birthday was a week ago. It was Tuesday, and I went to the Patrice O'Neal benefit, which was the Tuesday. It was crazy. It was huge guys. It was let's see here. It was Jim Norton. There are people I'm gonna forget, but it was okay. It was Dan Soder. It was Rich Voss. It was Jim Norton, it was Leslie Jones, it was Dave Attell, it was Bill Burr, and it was Keith Robinson. I think that's everybody that was on there, but I mean, everybody was so good, and everybody did like 10, 15 minutes, and I had like really good seat. I had a really fucking good seat. I was like top front balcony, and it was awesome. I saw everybody up close, and Bill went up last. And I saw Louis. Like I said, I saw Louis in September, and it made me really emotional. But I mean, Bill didn't make me emotional, but Bill fucking just murdered. And I hadn't seen anybody I've never seen, because I saw Louis in a fucking giant auditorium. But this was it was still big, but it wasn't MSG. Louis was playing MSG. This was a little theater, but Bill murdered, and I'd never seen anybody fucking murder like that, just destroy. And it wasn't anything from the new special, the Walk Your Way Out, that just came out. It was brand new stuff that was about his daughter, and he just fucking crushed. And it was just oh shit, it was that guy looks like he's in his prime right now. I think that happens. When you have a kid, you get all these new jokes, and he's gotten to the point where he's so singular, and he's so the style, and he's so recognizable. that he just crushed. And I hadn't seen anybody crush that hard before. Because it's hard. I mean, I'm sure Louis would crush it, but I think it's impossible to fucking crush like that in a giant in MSG. I think it's impossible to just have the thunderous laughter just echoing at MSG. I think that's a really difficult task. But yeah, Bill just fucking killed. And it was awesome. I'll never forget that show. It was so cool just seeing these guys and, hoping to one day be as good as that. But yeah, Bill Burr definitely seems to be in his prime right now. And his, the second season of F is for Family is coming out. I mean, I'm basically doing just shitty Bill Burr. So if you guys want to listen to a good podcast, listen to Monday Morning Podcast. This is Bill Burr's podcast. This is basically just shitty diary, shitty fat 19-year-old diary version of Monday Morning Podcast. So that was inspiration for this shit. Mark Maron's podcast inspired me to do Senioritis, and then Bill Burr's podcast inspired me to do this one. Just talk by myself because I knew I could. I knew I had the fucking crazy in me to be able to talk to myself for however long this shit is. I knew I had it in me, and turns out I did. I mean, I'm sure so much more has happened besides the shit I talked about, but I think I'm just gonna call it quits for right now and just. I think this is good. I think I might realize something that I missed later, but I'm gonna do one a week from now on. I covered a lot of shit, and I know I didn't cover all of it, but I covered a lot of shit, and I'm gonna do one a week now on. Just then I can go more into depth with shit, and I can really try to bring out more material. That was one of the things that I hated, was that I hated that I felt like I was repeating things. I was repeating material, and if I do it once every year, I'm not going to repeat material. Or I guess I shouldn't do material on the podcast in general unless I talk about it as, this is a bit I wrote, which is probably a good rule of thumb. But we'll see how much shittier this gets. I don't know if I'm going to try to do anything with the format or try to I don't know, man. Just try to shake it up, make it not as fucking boring for those poor 4 people that listen to this shitty thing. But yeah, I mean, this is it. This is basically it. I'm gonna figure out. I forgot how to, but I'm gonna figure out how to cue this music back up, and I'm gonna set it up to go. And
sometimes I feel like
yeah.
I'm just
All right.
like
Thanks for
thanks
for listening, y'all.
Twisting towards an endless black sea, further and further, drifting away from where I want to be. Who